Joined here today by the one and only Anthony Rocco Martin, set to fight David Zawada coming up real soon, normally at UFC Lincoln. Thanks so much for joining me, man. How are you?
I'm doing good, man. Thanks for having me on.
Of course, we appreciate your time. Listen, we're going through stuff that's a little bit complicated now with the coronavirus and everything. You have a fight coming up as a professional athlete. How is this affecting you so far?
I mean, just not having as many training partners is really the only change I have in my life. So
Yeah.
I think I just live in isolation. So it's pretty much I live in isolation. Obviously, um, I really don't do much when I'm in training anyway. So right now everything's the same, other than being a little different with traveling. I'm not able to travel as much. Where normally I go see my daughter more often. But other than that, everything's been kind of the same.
And so, where are you at right now, currently in the world?
I'm in Atlanta, Georgia, so I'm training out at American Top Team in North Atlanta and training with Jakau, Douglas, Will Brooks. So right now we got a small group, but we're all getting after it.
And so, has there been any talk in Georgia of them potentially, shutting everything down and forcing everyone to quarantine, or so far so good?
I mean, pretty much everything's kind of shutting down already, but we just have a group of like 4 or 5 guys that we've been able to get into the gym and do our training and proceed halfway normally. So that part has been good, because obviously I got a big fight coming up. Douglas Nama's fighting, 2 weeks after me. So we got to keep getting ready for these fights. So we're just proceeding as everything's normal outside of, we're not going around, probably, well, they're not going to see like their mom and dad and stuff like that. So it's more just sticking around with the family and us training partners, and that's it.
So how's this affecting you, like for your diet and stuff? I know groceries a little bit special. We know that stores, people are having issues buying things. How has this affected you, especially for your diet?
Well, actually, so usually I would have had what five fights at welterweight now. So I haven't had to cut weight one time. So I haven't had to cut weight for welterweight. So I've always walked around about 182, 183. And so now, actually, this gave me the first time I was trying to lift this camp. So I reached out to the UFC PI and talked to Clint over there, and he put me on the nutrition plan. So they actually send out all my meals through the trifecta. So I haven't had to worry about food at all with trifecta sending me my meals, and he got me on a couple supplements just to help me put on weight and keep on weight. So I'm actually been walking around about 193. So this will be the first time I ever had to start dieting. But like I said, that trifecta is sending me out all my meals. I feel great. Um, this will be the first time that I think that I'll actually get inside the cage above 180 pounds. So I'm excited for it.
So getting heavier, is this something that you've decided because you have to adjust to the bigger weight class? I mean, what's kind of the thinking behind that?
Yeah, I mean, I just thought that, I've been getting in there about 179, 180 max. And, I'm getting out of the cage at like 177, 176. I'm just like, realistically, that's just a little too small. I have a long frame, so it was hard to focus so much on putting on weight and training hard. So I was kind of pulled a little bit back from doing so much technique work, and I started lifting. But I feel great, man. Now, obviously with the quarantine, with all the weight gyms closing down, that it's more back to straight technique. But my weight's still staying at about 193, so I feel great. And the focus is just getting ready for April 25th.
And so how have you felt strength wise? I mean, we talk about the size and everything compared to these other welterweights that you're competing with.
I mean, strength wise, I've never felt like I've ever had a problem. It's never been strength, but it's been weight. I think that it definitely takes weight to move weights. I don't care. It was always a thing where I felt like I was having to exert a little bit more energy to try to get these guys down and takedowns or stay on top. Where I was a little bit quicker, but it was more, there's no weight. It's just my technique had to be perfect, and I do feel like my technique's really good. I think that my technique's a lot above a lot of these other fighters, but I think just with the added weight is just going to help in the long run with when I start getting in this top 15 after this fight and really making a push here.
So now currently we do know that you're scheduled to face David Zawada. Before we get into the actual fight and everything, how is it for you mentally in preparation for this fight? You see all these events getting canceled, all those sporting events and stuff. Does this make it, I don't know, add a little extra stress, or does it change things for you mentally?
So I was just kind of talking to a couple of my coaches about it a little bit. Was just the fact of, first off, we can only control what we can control.
Right.
But I love it. I love this part. Is I'll tell you why. Is because now is the time where you don't have your coaches calling you, forcing you into training. You don't have someone riding you. You don't even know for sure if you have a fight, right? So you got these other stresses going on. But now it's just like, how much do you want it? You know what I mean? Like, how much are you really willing to get up, not knowing that you have a fight for sure, and get out there and put the work in that's needed to put in. So I think personally, I'm gonna have a mental edge going in versus anyone. I think that, I'm dedicated, I'm ready, I'm working hard, and realistically, I don't care if there's an opponent change or the date changes, or because all I can control is I'm going to be ready. So I'm going to make sure that on April 25th, I'm ready to go 3 rounds, 5 rounds. It doesn't matter. I'm going to be the best athlete I can be and get in there and ready to perform.
And so you spoke about that mental edge. I mean, with all this that's going on, do you feel like mentally you're a little bit stronger? Like you do feel an advantage maybe compared to these past couple fights?
No, I mean, I think that I've always pushed myself to the limit. I think I've always getting there physically as good as I can get inside the cage. So I think that other than just putting on that extra weight this time, which is definitely helping mentally with, you can mostly tell when you're grappling with these guys that weight really does matter. And that weight is, that's when I feel like you notice how much weight matters, is when you're in those grappling exchanges and you kind of get away with certain things that you're normally not used to getting away with. So that part's been a huge mental edge. Is just that extra weight. I wouldn't say so much the coronavirus or the stuff going on in the world right now, but mostly it's the weight is giving me this little edge, this little extra something where I'm like, man, I'm excited to just get in there and see the difference.
And so now currently you're set to fight UFC Lincoln against Zawada. What are your thoughts on your opponent as you head into this fight?
I mean, honestly, I thought I deserved a bigger name. I thought I deserved someone that was either right on the outside of that top 15, if not another name inside the top 15. So I was a little disappointed, but again, like I said, I don't pick my fights. I have to just control what I can control, and that's to go out there and put on the best performance I can. David, from what I've seen him, he's taken a couple of short notice fights with his 2 losses. But he comes, man. He brings it all. He goes in there. He's not schooled. He's not scared to pull the trigger. He gets after it. His tenacity is second to none, and he doesn't quit. So it's one of those fights where I feel like I just beating the crap out of him and destroying him everywhere, and he's just not going to quit. And sometimes they're the toughest fighters to fight because they just do not quit. They have no quit in them. And it's almost like they're too stupid to quit. But it's so that part's kind of exciting. You know what I mean? Because I gotta be ready for a 15-minute war. I have to. My body. If my body shuts down, I could be in trouble because this is a guy that his output's high. He's not going to quit. He's going to keep coming after you. Gets in these crazy scrambles. So I'm excited, but I truly think that I'm a better fighter absolutely everywhere.
And so was David someone that you were familiar with before they came to you with this name?
No, I never heard of him. I never. First time really knowing about him because we fought on the same card in Russia, and he was fighting Khabib's cousin. And I thought that was going to be a close fight. I saw Khabib fight or Khabib's cousin, Nurmagomedov, fight a couple times in PFL, and I thought that those two would be a close fight just by seeing that, looking up Zawada's past record and looking at how close his couple fights were. But other than that, I've never seen him fight or anything, so no, I wasn't very familiar with him. But all I could do is control what I could control, man. I was hoping for a bigger name. I still want. So I need to go out there and perform this fight. I need to put David away.
And so what does that do for your motivation when you have an opponent that you're not too familiar with, that you were hoping for someone bigger? I assume it messes with your motivation a little bit.
No, man, this is my last fight of my contract. So this is
Okay.
this is a big fight. So it doesn't, like I was saying to everyone else, like, even if I think that I'm 10 times better than him, I'm gonna train like he's 10 times better than me. So I'm gonna get in there and you're gonna see the best me. So if I run him over in 30 seconds, that's only gonna be beneficial. You know what I mean? And that's gonna be good going into contract talks, being standing at 6-1 in the welterweight division. So I think that would be huge. I think that I don't know. I was kind of shocked that the UFC didn't want to re-sign me right after this last fight with Russia. So now I have to put on a performance. I got to put them away and show the UFC that I'm really ready to make a run here.
And so you alluded to it a little bit, but with this being the last fight on your contract, what's the move at this point? Is this a case of you didn't want to re-sign, the UFC didn't offer it? I mean, I'm sure you can't reveal everything to us, but what can you tell us about this situation?
No, they just didn't offer me a contract, so we didn't really negotiate at all about a contract. So nothing was offered, and I was just like, then they offered the fight. So I was like, all right, I guess we're not going to negotiate here. But my idea is obviously until I think that I can't make a run at that UFC title, that I want to stick here. So, but obviously, if they don't like me or something, and they tell me that they want to go their own way, then I'm going to look for the next biggest thing out there. And right now, there's a lot of movement out there in these other organizations, a lot of big money fights and big names moving around. So there's a lot of outlook out there, but at this point, I think that I can be UFC champion, and I think that I want to stick around in the UFC.
100%. Something that I've always wanted to ask you about. I think it was Sean Shelby who had a quote about you and your fighting style and stuff like that. What was your reaction when you found out exactly what what he had said?
Man, I don't know. Me and Sean, we're getting a little bit better. I think every single fight, things are getting a little bit better. And I mean, he's got like probably the hardest job out there. I think he's got the hardest job in the game. With you have 400 fighters you're trying to make happy, but you're also trying to put on the best shows. You're having people fall out. You're having a lot of drama queens, a lot of people asking for stuff, and think about every email or every text that he gets from someone, he probably thinks they're trying to ask for a favor. So I mean, it's a tough job. So I have no animosity towards Sean Shelby. I'm trying to, if there's any hatred there, I'm trying to repair all relationships right now and get him on my good side, get him on my good graces, and try to make a push here.
100%. Last question for you. How do you see this fight with David playing out come UFC Lincoln?
Man, I've tried to visualize the fight going a million ways, and it just kind of deciphers on how aggressive he's going to be coming out. It just depends on if he's going to come after me. I think I clip him right away and I put him away. But if he tries to play a technical fight, I just stick to my game, man. I stick to my game. I'm not going to force anything. I'm going to pick him apart, and then I really think that he's going to start shooting on me. I think he's going to try to take me down. Because I just think I'm too long for him. I think I'm too crisp. I'm too sound on the feet. Where he's just a wild man. I know he says he's a striker, but he's a wild striker. Where I feel like those are the easiest fighters to fight for me. Where I just stick my long jab right cross down the middle. I'm gonna chop that calf kick, and really it's the same game plan every single fight I go in. I'm gonna piece him apart, and really if he forces us to grapple, we'll grapple. But I think I have a significant advantage just staying long and picking my shots.
All right, well, we look forward to it. Obviously, it's going to be a great fight. Thank you so much for the time, man. I really appreciate it.
Hey, thank you, man. I appreciate it. Have a good one and stay safe out there.